today I would like to talk about having faith in your trials, because I think that's something that people face on a day-to-day basis, and I personally know a lot of people who are struggling with that right now, including myself. Now I've had many struggles in my life, but that I would not have seen the other side of, but God guided me through them. Even when I didn't know it was His hand that was guiding me, He was the constant presence of hope in my life. So I'd like to talk about how God has personally guided me through my struggles and is currently guiding me through my struggles, and how He can do the same thing for you. So, for those of you who don't know me, first off, my name's Michaela. I think everyone should know that. But I am chronically ill. I am both mentally and physically disabled. I have a lot of mental illnesses, diagnosed and undiagnosed, and I have a lot of chronic physical illnesses, diagnosed and undiagnosed. I won't name all of them because we'd be here forever. But when people ask me what's wrong, I generally just say, every part of my body works wrong. Because it's true, but it's fine because it gets me to where I need to be. And I wouldn't be the same person I am today if I wasn't chronically ill. But I get treated for my chronic illnesses through Mayo Clinic. And I was supposed to go back up to Mayo Clinic to see my doctors last Saturday. But I couldn't go because I get my insurance through my dad's work, and my dad's work switched what insurance they give their employees over the new year. And so my new insurance company no longer covers any of the doctors I was already seeing, and they won't pay for any treatment at Mayo Clinic unless the doctor they cover has referred me to be treated at the Mayo Clinic. So that's something I'm working on right now, one of the trials I'm working through right now. And felt pretty hopeless when I was supposed to be leaving on Saturday and I couldn't. But I know I can make it through this trial with God's help because He's seen me through worse. And one of the really great things about God is He is ever-changing and ever-present, and He will be exactly who you need Him to be when you need Him to be there. And everything He does is for a reason. And everything He does is for a reason. And it's tricky to understand that because He works backwards. And what I mean by He works backwards is you don't understand what He's doing while He's doing it, but when you're farther down your road, everything that He's done makes sense. For example, I had this amazing mentor in my life, and she kept me alive when I didn't want to stay alive on this planet. God worked through her to keep me alive. And after I got through that really rough patch in my life, things sort of started to fall apart with her. And I was really frustrated because she was and still is a mother figure to me, but our relationship kind of shifted. And a lot of that was my fault, the relationship shifting. But I didn't understand why our dynamic wasn't the same as it was when she first started being present in my life. And now I understand that our relationship had to be pulled back a little, and God told her to pull back a little because if our relationship dynamic stayed the same, I would have camped out at a stop post that I was just supposed to walk through. Like, I would not be where I am in my relationship with Christ, in my Christ journey, if my relationship with my mentor remained the same. I would have stayed in that comfort zone when I needed to move on to continue to grow. And that's a comforting feeling, because that was a really hard thing for me to do. But now that I understand it all happened for a reason, it gives me hope for my future trials, because I know everything will happen for a reason in them too. And I know everything's happening for a reason in my life right now. And I could give you more examples, but that's kind of boring, yeah? Yeah. So, God works backwards. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, I'll give you one more example, because I feel like I might be supposed to. In November, I was supposed to go up to Mayo Clinic again then as well. But I had to reschedule that trip too, because I had a really bad flare the morning I was supposed to leave. I couldn't even walk. It was bad. It was a really bad flare. It was completely debilitating. And I was so frustrated, because I was supposed to go back and get the answers that I'd been waiting for from the tests I did at my last Mayo Clinic visit. But I couldn't even walk, so I couldn't make it through a 10-hour car ride and a week of marathon tests and doctor's visits. And so that morning, I text my friend and I tell her I had to cancel the trip, because she was my spoonie sister. She was also disabled, so we had that bond and that connection, and she told me to update her about my trip. And so I texted her that morning, and her friend responds telling me that she had passed away. And if I didn't have a flare and I had been able to go up to Mayo Clinic in Minnesota for that week and a half of doctor's visits, I wouldn't have been able to attend her service, and I wouldn't have had time to mourn. Because when you're at Mayo Clinic, you can't think about anything else except doctor's appointments, doctor's tests, and healthcare. So, it's 2 trips in a row I've had to reschedule. And I know now I had that really bad flare, I needed that time to mourn, and I needed to be able to go to her service, and I needed to be able to make peace with that situation as best as I could. And I know there's a reason I won't be able to go to this one either, and I'll know what it is farther down the road. Another way that's really helpful to not have... Sorry, I'm switching gears. And something that really helps with having faith in your trials is not allowing yourself to feel resentment. Because you can be disappointed and still be content. And you can be upset and not give in to your resentment. You can choose to be happy, because if you give in to your resentment and your disappointment, you're creating your own prison. And the Lord doesn't want you to live life in a prison. He died so you could be free. So, know that everything happens for a reason, and it'll make sense. And know that you can still be content even when you hate the situation you're in. And you need to know that what you're going through right now is just a season of your life. And you need to go through it and weather the storm and make it through winter, metaphorically, so you can come out on the other side and enjoy spring. Everything that happens in your life only happens for a season. And there's something better than you can ever imagine ahead of you. Ever imagine. The life I'm living right now is not perfect by any means, but it is so much better than a life I ever could have imagined for myself 5-6 years ago. And if knowing there's something amazing ahead of you isn't the most comforting thing in the world, I don't know what is. Jesus has plans greater for you than you could ever know. And He is right there beside you in this awful season of your life, holding your hand, guiding you through it. He will be whatever you need Him to be, as long as you say, Lord, I acknowledge that I need you. Please help me. Your ways are right, my ways are wrong. And He will be there for you. Like no one on earth has ever been there for you before. And He might be there for you through a human. He might not. Pond would like to be in the video. Hey, baby girl. Come say hi. Hondo. Say hi. Say hi. Don't knock over the tripod. So please just keep your head up. And no, leave it. Lay down. Good girl. That God is good. He will see you through your addiction. He will see you through your depression. He will see you through your missed plans, your backfires, your people leaving you. He will see you through your confusion, your downheartedness, your anxiousness, anything. And what you're going through will only prepare you for the amazing things He has ahead of you. So keep your head up and message me if you need to talk. I promise there will be better videos in the future, but I'm content with how this video turned out. Prayers and love.